Hey everybody, welcome to Crack Pack Tuesday, number 158 on the Leek. I'm John as always, and we've got ourselves another pack of Core Set 2019. Now, I'm trying something new again. I'm using my webcam as my camera for this because my DSLR does not autofocus, and we run into that focus problem, and my cell phone is the wrong angle for people, so I'm going to try this out. There's an annoying shadow down here. I need to get a new camera at some point. Unfortunately, they're very expensive, and Crack Packs do not pay for them. So we'll see if I can figure something out. We'll see if this works. Let me know in the comments down below. Now, this, of course, is a sponsored pack. If you are a patron backer at the $5 level and above, you get entered to win the contents of each Crack a Pack. If you want the rare or all the cards or just the foil or none of the cards, we'll figure that out. This week's pack is going to Democritus, so we'll find out what they want and crack this open and see what we would take pack one, pick one if this was a draft. Up first, we've got ourselves Mighty Leap. 1 and a white for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. Totally fine combat trick, but not a card that I'm super excited to be first picking literally ever. It's a very late pick and sometimes get cut, so not pack one, pick one. Up next is Cancel. 1 blue for an instant counter target spell. I've actually been playing this slightly more than I would prefer to be playing it, but it's nowhere near a first pick, so we're not even going to consider that one. Up next is a Plummet. This is the worst card that we've seen so far as first pick ability. 1 and a green for an instant, destroy target creature with flying. You should not be main decking this. You can main deck these two cards. You should not be main decking that card ever in this format. So certainly not a pack one, pick one. But out of the sideboard, it's great. So if you're in green and you see this and there's nothing else for you, you're happy taking this card. But you're never happy taking it pack one, pick one. Up next is Mind Rot. Mind Rot is 2 and a blue for a sorcery. Target player discards 2 cards. I don't think I'm terribly on playing Mind Rot in draft in this format. I have here and there, and it's been okay, but it's not my favorite thing to do. Sealed, it definitely goes up in value, but it's not a pack one, pick one. Thornhide Wolves. We've got our first creatures. It's 4 and a green for a vanilla 4/5 creature wolf, and that's about all there is going on here. This is an okay creature if you're in green and you want something before you hit your Colossal Dreadmaw. This is a card that is okay. You should cut it if you have better stuff, but if you don't, you can play it. It's a definition of a solid C, which is the definition of not a first pickable card. Up next is Gallant Cavalry, which I guess we'll consider to be our first pickable first card so far, even though I would not be super happy with it. 3 and a white for a creature human knight. It's a 2/2 with vigilance, and when it ETBs, you make a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. It's called Cavalry, but with half a creature, so you can bounce shenanigans and stuff. This is fine. This is totally fine. I'm happy to play a couple of these in almost every white deck. But I guess we're currently first picking it, but let's hope that it gets kicked out of frame at some point. Up next is Skeleton Archer, a card that I think I do like a little bit more than Gallant Cavalry. Skeleton Archer is 3 and a black for a creature, Skeleton Archer. It's a 3/3. When Skeleton Archer enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to any target. This might be like the second best black common, or maybe the third best black common. It's good. It's a 3/3 for 4. It's a Hill Giant, which is okay for a core set, but that 1 point of damage that can even go to face is really, really good. I would feel slightly bad if I first picked a Skeleton Archer, but I think we can keep it in frame with this pack the way it's going so far. Up next is Wall of Mist. Wall of Mist is 1 and a blue for a creature wall. It's an 0/5 defender. Not a card we're ever first picking, and a card that most decks do not want. If you're the mill deck, if you're patient rebuilding somebody, perhaps this is okay, but it doesn't block flyers, and it only blocks 1 creature, so it doesn't block a lot of the go wide strategies. Not a card I'm overly looking to play too often, and never ever a first pick. Up next is Take Vengeance. Take Vengeance is 1 and a white for a sorcery. Destroy target tapped creature. This card's not great. It's not even good. You have to cast it on your turn, which means that creature most likely attacked and hit you. Maybe you blocked it with your Wall of Mist. Why would it have attacked? It's not a good card. It's not good removal. It should be a very late pick, and frankly, you should cut it a fair bit of the time. If you're desperate for removal, you can certainly pick it up, but hopefully your draft didn't go that badly. I would never pack one, pick one, and Take Vengeance. And our final common, so 10 commons, we're not getting ourselves a foil, is Root Snare. 1 and a green for an instant, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. It's worse than Fog. It costs 1 more mana and is exactly Fog. Fog is an F, this is a G. Never ever play this card, let alone pick it. Especially pack one, pick one. Up next is Shield Mare, our first uncommon. 1 white for a 2/3 creature horse. Shield Mare can't be blocked by red creatures when Shield Mare enters the battlefield or becomes the target of a spell or ability opponents control. I have seen people try to cast a spell on this themselves and gain some life. You gain 3 life. This is fine. It's not a premium white card. I think Gallant Cavalry is just better than it. It has an extra point of toughness for a much harder to cast cost, and that 3 life isn't really that spectacular, nor are you repeating it more than once at best. So Shield Mare is not a card that I'm super excited about as pack one, pick one. I think I'd honestly take an Archer or a Cavalry over it, so we're not going to consider it. Our second uncommon is Fell Spectre. Fell Spectre is 3 and a black for a creature Spectre. It's a 1/3 flyer. When Fell Spectre enters the battlefield, target opponent discards a card. Whenever an opponent discards a card, that player loses 2 life. This is okay. I have had some success with this. I think it's probably a little bit better in Sealed, where you can be slower. That being said, this is definitely somewhat of a slow format, but it's fine. I don't think I'd ever first pick it. I don't think I'd first pick it against either of these cards. It does give you a theme to build around. It gives you some synergy to build around, but I don't think it's that amazing of a payoff. But we can keep it in frame, I suppose, to discuss it. And our final uncommon is just going to kick everything out of frame right now, is Departed Deckhand. Departed Deckhand is 1 and a blue for a creature Spirit Pirate. It's a 2/2. When Departed Deckhand becomes the target of a spell, not an ability, sacrifice it. Departed Deckhand can't be blocked except by spirits, of which there is 2 others in the set and they're rare. Pay 3 and a blue. Another target creature you control can't be blocked this turn except by spirits. This card's amazing. It's a 2/2 for 2 that, yeah, if your opponent hits it with a spell, it dies, but generally if your opponent's hitting your creature with a spell, it's dying anyways. The downside, we'll call it, is that your opponent could use a pump spell on this to kill it, but that's very narrow. This is just a great card. This represents a ton of unblocked damage, and if you do get to activate this and bring through some more creatures, it represents a massive amount of damage. So this is easily the first pick currently, depending on what rare is sitting behind there. I certainly like it more than the Archer, the Cavalry, the Spectre, the Mare. So Departed Deckhand, do you get beaten by a Gigantosaurus? No. No, you do not. Gigantosaurus is green, 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 green. For a creature dinosaur, it's a 10/10. No evasion, no trample, no abilities, no nothing. It's impossible to cast if you are not a mono green deck. It's just not a card I ever want to play. I've seen people play it. It was a janky deck. They won a game or two and lost the draft with it. It's not a good card. You shouldn't be playing Gigantosaurus, and you should never be first picking it. And we get ourselves a Plains and a Dragon. So this is an easy pack for me, at least. I think it's Departed Deckhand by a mile. I don't think the Archer, the Spectre, or the Cavalry even slightly compares to the Departed Deckhand. Let me know what you'd have taken in the comments down below. Would you have taken the Deckhand? Do you want to try Gigantosaurus in a mono green deck? Or do you like one of the other cards better? Let me know. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at the Mana Leek. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can find me at facebook.com/ShamanALeek, twitch.tv/ShamanALeek, and patreon.com/ShamanALeek. If you like the content, click that thumbs up button. Click subscribe if you want to see more. And if you do have questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see you all next time.